Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We're over 2/3 of us who have registered has joined already, so we might as well kick off. Hi, I'm Peter Guide. I'm the Senior Training Officer from Digital Services Program within Courts and Tribunals. Assisting me today from the program is Jane Crawford and Sarah Henderson, and from the Supreme and District and Land Court Services we have Deputy Principal Registrar Camelia Adams and Senior Registrar Kylie Adams to assist answering any questions we may have. We're delivering 2 informal webinars to assist you in your readiness for the release of the Brisbane Supreme Court claims on the 30th of June 2025. This is the first of 2 webinars. Each webinar will be recorded and will be available for a limited time to allow you to refer to them during the first few weeks after going live. Your attendance to this webinar is consent to be included in these recordings. We acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the Torres traditional custodians of Queensland and pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. A bit of housekeeping before we kick off. This is scheduled to be 30-minute webinar, which will include demonstrations within a allotted time and questions at the end. The questions are welcome throughout the presentation, and I would encourage you to post your questions in chat, which are being monitored. Any unanswered questions in chat will be answered at the end of the dedicated time. Your camera has been turned off, and same with your microphone muted. This helps with connectivity and minimise distractions, but they will be enabled during the question and answer time. I'd also like to mention today's webinar is being delivered in a test environment. This ensures that no real data or cases will be shown. So today's presentation will cover a number of topics to assist you in getting ready for online lodgement of civil claims in Brisbane Supreme Court. This will include what is the Queensland Courts Tribunal and Online Services Portal. I'll just refer to it as the OSP from now on. What services are available in the OSP, registering as a user in the OSP, and firm management, which allows you to create a firm profile and manage users within the firm. We will, however, will not be touching on the Supreme Court civil claims and lodging documents via the new facility. That will be covered in the next webinar, same time next week. And if you haven't enrolled for that webinar, a link will be placed in chat at the end of the webinar. So, what is the portal? It's where you can currently lodge wills and estates applications and conduct probate searches, and it's currently used by lawyers and a public trustee. In future, more services will be added to the portal with the intention that the portal will eventually become the one-stop shop to access many online Queensland Courts and Tribunal services, presenting the need to register for each services. For example, in 2026, the new civil case management system will be introduced with electronic online capabilities for all civil originating processes and appeals for statewide Supreme Court jurisdiction matters. To provide early access, the e-lodgement capability to the legal profession, from the 30th of June 2025, the OSP will be expanded to enable legal practitioners to prepare, lodge the Form 2 claim and supporting documents for the duration of the claims proceeding in the Supreme District Court. Also shortly, there will be the online registry committals, which will be migrated to the OSP for statewide lodgements of registry committals. What's this mean for you? From the 30th of June, you're able to lodge the UCPR civil claims and associated forms via the OSP and the Australian Taxation Office, Crown Law and WorkCover Queensland will join the entities that would use the OSP. Okay, the OSP use My ID and the Queensland Digitally Identity, QDI, which was formerly known as QGov, to verify your identity and keep your information secure. My ID and QDI are secure digital verification platforms which are commonly used to sign in for government online services. If you are a government employee accessing the OSP, you'll be using the government employee single sign-on function. Only individuals, not businesses, can register in the OSP. However, an individual, when registering, can set up a firm to manage their organisation's users, and users can then choose to join that firm. Managers of the firm and how to join them will be covered later on this webinar. The only information we will receive from MyID or QDI account is your name and email address. No other information will be transferred to it. That, together with your telephone number, will be added to your profile, and that is only viewable from yourself and your firm administration and court staff. No other information from your MyID or QDI account is stored or viewable on the online service portal. Further information about creating a MyID or a QDI account, if you haven't got one, will be found in each of their services website. I recommend you, if you haven't got one, a MyID or a QDI, to get one set up before we go live. And if you have any authentication issues or trying to log on to the OSP, please contact your service, the respective service provider, and a link will be dropped in the chat for your reference for that. Okay, let's get into the show and tell part of the webinar. Creating a firm creation, but first off, we've got to navigate to get there. So from the Queensland Courts website, if you haven't been there before, to the OSP, if you haven't lodged a wills and estate at probate yet, click on services, go down to services portal, and you can either click on one of the many links to get to the online service portal. And it's a simple matter of clicking log on. It'll go to the digital page for you to add your digital information to log on. I recommend if the first time you're being here to go back later on easier, just bookmark it like myself, so I can just go into my bookmarks and quickly navigate to that. So the first part will show you demonstrating a firm, creating a firm in the OSP. To create a firm, a legal practitioner must be the first one to create it. A paralegal, a legal assistant, or an administration officer cannot do so. It must be a legal practitioner. However, after the firm's been created in the OSP, a paralegal or a legal assistant or admin officer may be made an administrator and run the enrolments for your firm. As I've used a testing email account, as you can see, I've logged on to the portal, and only my given names and family name and my email has been come across. So if you're using a private email as your ID, this is now the opportunity during the firm creation to change it. So I'm creating a firm, I select law firm, I've got my name, I'll update it to my work email address, and add my contact phone number. Scrolling down, you can see you've got three options. I'm creating a firm, so I'm going to select I'm a legal practitioner and wish to register a law firm. For this demonstration purposes, I'll be using a fictitious firm, but in the real world, you'll be using your proper registered firm particulars. Sorry about that. Level 1. The firm address is actually driven from Australia Post, so as you type ahead, it will pre-populate the address when it catches up to me. Add your firm email address. I'll be just using my work email address, and add your phone number. Scrolling down, it'll next ask you for your organisation join request code. This is a unique number that you yourself as a firm can put in there. You can change it as many times as you like. There's no restriction of word, of size, word combination or anything. So this is what you use whatever is comfortable for yourself. Finally, we need your Queensland Law Society certificate number, ID number. So you enter that in, they'll check against the Queensland Law Society, confirm that you are a practising solicitor. So for later on for lodgements and stuff like this. I will be using a random strings to say, yes, that's my number. Finally, read the terms and conditions of using the OSP, then click on the agree to terms and conditions of use and click the register button. Now I'm using the test database. It may take a little bit longer, but in production, I assure you this is much quicker. So as soon as it's finished rotating, it has registered and I'll now receive an email to my work email address to say that your firm has been registered. Now, the firm's been registered. You can advise all your employees to say, yes, jump on and register yourself in the firm. And here's your number for your invitation. So let's go and do that now. I'll first off refresh the page. So as an employee of the firm, I'd first go through my digital identity and log on via my ID or QDI, and I'll land on this page. Just like before, it only pulls through your name and email address that's associated with that account. So I can say that I am a legal representative. My work email address I want you to use, not my own private email address. So I'll put my work email address in there. I'll add my work phone number in there. Scrolling down, I could say I'm a legal practitioner who wishes to join a firm, or I'm a paralegal, legal assistant, or admin officer. For this case, I'll show you that I'm an admin officer. They'll ask me what law firm I wish to join. I'll select the law firm, enter the join request code, and fill out, read the terms and conditions of use and click agreement. If you're a lawyer, a legal practitioner, and signing on, the only thing different is they'll ask you for your law society number. And if you are studying and you do get sworn in later date, your admin officer can upgrade your status in the portal so you can lodge as a solicitor, as a lawyer. So I'm going to register that. And once that's finishing registering a request, and it will now go through to the firm to join the firm. Which brings me to the last walkthrough, firm administration. Firm administration. I'll just refresh this page. So we've got the application in it. So I'm registered, I've logged on to the page, I'm landing here. I know I've got an email to say a person wishes to join the firm. I can go in there and check that now. But before I do, I just want to show you, confirm that if I go into my profile, as you can see, we only got your name, your surname, your work email address, or email address that you have stated, and your phone number. That's all the information we keep on yourself. As for the firm, if you're a firm administrator, you could go into the organisation details and update the address as the case may be. And on the same screen, if you need to change your request code, you can do it in here. And when you finish updating it, you can hit save, and that's your new request code from then on. And you can start using that request code, just in case it gets compromised, or it's the thing you do in the office, changing codes every couple of months. As for firm administration, it's via the same button again. I click on my firm's name, down to manage users. It'll refresh, you can see all the people who's currently in the firm and all the new people that have requests to join the firm. As you can see, we've got this request in and their role is a paralegal. So we can approve this person. Click on refresh to show the new list of all people. And just my luck. Didn't wait long enough for the refresh. Okay, we've now got Wilhelmina as a person in the firm, as a paralegal, but we want to promote them to an org administrator. So all we got to do is click on edit, and down the bottom here we can click on yes and update users details, and they are now an administrator, so they can go and accept people into the organisation and remove people as the case may be. Also, if Wilhelmina gets sworn in and they are now a legal practitioner, you can change into a legal practitioner and add their legal practitioner's ID in there. And now they'll have the same rights for lodging documents as in each respective app. However, if a person leaves a firm and you wish to remove them from the portal, it's a pretty simple step. You click on the down button here, select remove user, then you must nominate a person in your firm to receive emails or be the contact for anything they've lodged previously through the portal. So in this case, I'll select Matilda, I'll select remove user, and now that person's gone. They haven't got access to your firm accounts information in the OSP or associated apps. And if they rejoin your firm later on, they've got to go through the same process of joining the firm and getting approved or not. Okay, for OSP related assistance, you can contact the client service support team on Monday, on a business day, Monday to Friday in Brisbane. That's between 8:30 and 4 p.m. and there's a phone number and email address. You can contact them. Also, the same particulars is on the OSP webpage too. And a reminder, if it's your digital identity you're having issues with logging in with, contact each provider at QDI or MyGovID. Promoting the next webinar, we'll be actually diving into the Brisbane Supreme Court civil claims online. I'll be demonstrating the functionality of lodgements lodged so far and how to lodge a document or lodge documents on a matter that's previously been lodged. And that should take about half an hour again this time next Thursday. And a link will be dropped in at the end of this webinar if you haven't already signed up for it. We also have a public-facing site for the program. Some of you could have seen it before, so I encourage you to jump onto that site, have a look what we're working on, what's coming up in the future, and just keep up to date of the digitisation that we're assisting with court services, Courts and Tribunals, Queensland. So that's the end of the presentation. We're into the questions. What I'll get Sarah to do is turn on your cameras, turn on anyone's microphone so you can turn on the mic if you wish, and we'll go through any questions that you may have. If you need to contact us or ask more questions, you also have got our email address there. So, how have we been going? Any questions?
Pete, it's just taking a while to save, but it should work now. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. or you can pop them in the chat if you prefer.
I have a quick question. Can we do the firm? Can we set up our firm now, or do we have
Yes.
to wait till 30 June?
Now you can set up your firm now if you wish. Just so the tile to lodge civilly won't be available till the 30th of June.
Okay, thanks.
And also you can lodge a wills and estates if a probate matter if you want to now, if you wish to. Now you set up. Andrew?
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Just a couple of things in terms of the administrator function. I see. I think initially the administrator has to be a lawyer, but I think I saw in the portal there that you have the option to change, or to for an administrator to appoint someone else as an administrator. Can they appoint someone, a non-lawyer, to an administrator role?
Yeah, you don't have to be a lawyer. You just to set it up, and you can have them as many as you wish to. And I recommend having 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Just in case one person's away. Yeah.
And in terms of I suppose what I'm not across is in terms of what do the users, does the administrator approve users when they go through? So you give them an access code. Does the administrator still have to go through a process of approving each of those, or could it automatically get approved when they've been given the code? That's kind of a pre-approval, I guess.
The code just confirms that they're going to access your account, but it always needs a human at the end of it after they've submitted it to say, yes, that is the person we are approving.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, does the administrator have a role in that? Or
the administrator will. They'll get an email to say there's something there to approve.
And I don't have any experience with the portal, the current sort of iteration of the portal, but just wondering what did the people get access to, like the users, once they're approved?
Whatever's currently available in the portal, they'll have access to, and which is wills and estate, the searching. Yeah.
And is there any way can the administrator restrict access to
each
matters, or
applications?
to particular matters, or can they only restrict people? Like, can they only sort of remove users, if you like?
For the portal at the moment, it's whatever the firm's lodged, they'll see what's been lodged. It's not like what's it, case where you can restrict access to each case for the people in your firm. At the moment, it's whatever's lodged.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Pete,
Sarah,
there are a couple of questions in the chat. So Emma's asked if she already has an account set up for probate lodgements. Is this the same account, or do I need to set up another account?
No, it's the same account. You don't have to set up anything else. Just stay tuned to the 30th of June, and you'll have the tile available. I can quickly show you the tile just for your reference. I'll just log on to my own account. Well, my own test account. I've first got to log out of this account. Service portal.
And just while you're doing that, Pete, Chris has a question. My Gov ID is set up with a personal email. Once logged in, can I change the email address to the firm email?
Yes.
And the answer is yes, you can for that.
Yep. Because I'm a government employee, I'll just show my screen. I'm going to click on the single sign-on, which jumps in. Will be exactly the same now that when it refreshes, that you will see. And I can scroll down, and as you can see, this is a test environment, so I can see everything that's coming at the moment. So come the 30th of June, the Supreme Court claims tile will appear and you can start using it. But currently at the moment, the only ones you'll see is the transfer and the standard 3. And we'll go into this at the next webinar. Yeah, and talking about that, your email coming through. Yes, under my profile, if I logged on with QDI, it would have my home email address in there, and I would immediately change it to my work email address. It could be your direct one or your firm's email address, whichever you prefer or your firm requires. Peter? Taking a while. Peter Ryan.
Pete, if you're having trouble, Peter Ryan, if you're having trouble unmuting, maybe if you drop your question in the chat, we can answer it there. We do have another few questions come through, Pete. So one from Nicole. I practice as a lawyer in my maiden name and my MyGov is in my married name. Is this a problem for setting up?
No, it'll come through as, I was going to show you with mine again, sorry. I'll share my screen again. When it first comes through during the setup process, it'll have your maiden name in there or a name in there. You can change that to, if I want to be named as Peter Smith, I can change that. We don't care what you're called with the, your digital identity. That is to prove that you are a person. When you log into the system, you're known as this person, and then your firm knows you as that person.
Excuse me, Peter, I think my mic is now working.
Cool, go ahead.
Look, you've sort of answered it. I was just going to ask, once the system is up and running, will you be able to do everything through the system, or it looked from what you just flashed before about the claim and probate that it might be limited just to those things? And how different will it be from QCase?
The iteration that you're getting on the 31st of June is a temporary step to get you into e-lodgement, and with the full solution coming in 2026. So we haven't started building it with the new system yet, so I really can't comment. Will it look like QCase? Sorry.
Okay, so what will you be able to lodge or file? I saw probate, I saw claims applications.
That's really for, that's in next webinar, but
okay.
The e-lodgement part, I'll solve that for you now. If it's a form, UCPR form claim, you can lodge that in e-lodgement in the Supreme Court, Brisbane, and any associated documents with that claim. Originating applications, appeals are out of scope at the moment. So it's only the UCPR Form 2 claim and onwards you can lodge documents with. And it doesn't matter if you've already got a current matter going before the court at the moment. Any substantive documents you'll be able to lodge via the portal.
Will you need to register the same way you do currently in QCase, where you've got a pre-existing matter? They only picked up matters from a certain date.
That'll get into next week's webinar, where you'll just have to add a minimum data. Yeah. So next week, you'll see that. Let me demonstrate that for you.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Can I ask?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Richard, you go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just one more quick question. Now, you said that administrators are going to receive an email every time someone wants to join the firm, right? The original administrator has to be a lawyer, a legal practitioner. Is there a way to remove the original administrator once other administrators are set up so that they're not bombarded with emails?
Yes, you can hand that over to anyone, but as long as you've got one administrator in your firm, that's possible.
Okay, great, thanks.
So Pete, we just had a couple of questions in the chat. Marissa asked, are paralegals, legal assistants, administration assistants able to lodge documents, or is there are there certain things only lawyers?
That's another question for next week. You will be on behalf of, but if you come along to next week's, I'll be showing you that part of it.
And there's another question, will this apply to Supreme and District Court lodgements? So we've replied no, this will be Brisbane Supreme Court only.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. If there's no other questions, I'd like to thank you all for your attendance and your time you've given today. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to sign up for next week's webinar where we're getting to the nuts and bolts of lodging a document.
Thanks, Pete.